Angola, Louisiana. Once a slave plantation. Today, it is one of the oldest maximum security prisons in the United States. They call it the FAR. 5,100 men, serving sentences so long, 95% of them will never go home.
1 out of every 2 that you see in this prison is a murder. And you only have murder, rape, armed robber, habitual felons.
In 1997, the documentary The Farm followed the stories of 6 inmates serving time in Angola.
Going on my 38th year. Just something like I've been raised here.
I'm scared. I'm scared that I ain't gonna never get a chance to see my loved ones again.
The original charge that I'm in prison for is aggravated rape. I am an innocent man.
You keep in the cell for 23 hours a day, you can't come out.
You know, the person who was arrested 22 years ago was a totally different person.
2 of the inmates died in 1997, one from cancer.
But I'm ready for it. I figured a couple weeks I'll be leaving this planet.
The other by lethal injection.
At 12:12 p.m., we sent his soul for final judgment. Last thing he said, he actually said, wow.
This is the story of the remaining 4, who during the last 10 years continued on, praying for a miracle and hoping for freedom.
Ooh, he would be so much overflowing of joy. He would be out of sight for me.
Good morning, Angola, and may you have a blessed day. It's DJ Dollar Ray, the Spin Doctor, and we're gonna have a beautiful day right here. KLSP 91.7.
I'ma say, to me, it don't move. Time don't move for me. Right here. The 10 years I've been in, I've completed a lot of things. My GED, got all kind of other certificates. You know, self-help programs. You know, but things happen. It's gonna be a long day.
I think we had it, Chief.
We going back to that wall. I hope y'all able to make it down there. Going toward L.
George Crawford was the youngest of the inmates profiled in the FAR back in 1997. Only 22 at the time. He was immediately sent to work in the fields.
First time you ever worked in the field?
First time I ever worked in my life.
He had entered Angola's gates for the first time less than a week earlier.
Angola, Louisiana State Penitentiary. That's where we're going.
George was found guilty of murdering a woman during a drug deal and was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. He admits he was caught up in a life of crime, but insists to this day that he is innocent of this charge.
I ain't no perfect child. I done did dirt as I was coming up. I have sold drugs. I have stole things. I have lied. I cheated. But I have never killed anyone. I ain't perfect. And that's what I want to get across. I ain't perfect.
After seeing the film, a prestigious law firm took on George's case pro bono. But state, federal, and Supreme Courts have denied every appeal.
Do you think you'll still be here 10 years later?
I ain't imagine, no. No, honestly, no. No, it was a rough 10 years, too.
You lose hope?
I gained hope. I'll never lose hope. I'll never give up.
The hardest part about being an inmate here is you can't go home. You live here and gonna go in, they're gonna eat supper, they're gonna go to bed, they're gonna get up, do it again tomorrow.
In prison, it is the head warden who is responsible for every critical decision.
Prison is in better shape every year. It's a beautiful place, it's a beautiful prison, you know, when you look out across, who would ever think you'd see a beautiful prison?
For over a decade at Angola, that role has belonged to Warden Burl Kane.
It's like a big plantation in days gone by. We hate to call it that in a way, but it kind of is because we have the, you know, it's inmates and prisoners. It costs about $10,000 a day to feed the people at Angola. Every day, the sun comes up, put $10,000 in the cash register to buy the food to feed Angola. Our toilet paper bill at Angola is $51,000 a year for toilet paper. Okay, did it take 4 of y'all to hold him?
None of his responsibilities carry greater consequence than the oversight of executions.
Could you find a vein with him with that much pressure on him?
There had been 6 executions during Warden Kane's tenure.
It would be difficult, wouldn't it?
Old age and illness, the real concerns of men with life sentences, have caused the deaths of 412 others in the same period.
Okay, you take care.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and your family, too.
Okay, see you later.
All right.
How much time you have?
Well, you know, I had 75 years. I've been locked up 25 years on that. I'm eligible for parole.
You're eligible now?
Yes.
Good
sir.
luck.
Okay.
You have 50 to go if you don't. You get a little gray hair now.
If a person gives up hope, that's the day that you begin to die. That's what helped me to survive during my 27 and a half years. Always believing that one day something was going to change.
You know, we just travel and teach anywhere we can go, and we're trying to do this as a means to reach and give something back to society. When we deal
Ashanti Witherspoon was one of Angola's model inmates, allowed to do work outside the prison walls to deter others from a life behind bars.
Because if you miss, if you slip, you will be Angola bound.
Don't allow anything. Right now, we're right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, downtown Baton Rouge, before, what's this, Bank One. You know, I'm out here with you all filming and so forth. You know, there wouldn't be any problem for me to walk away. But the point is, I've changed. The point is, the thing that I need to do is to be free. And escaping won't give me any type of freedom. Escaping, I'm still on the run. I'm still trapped. I'm still bound by the same thing that I was bound by 25 years ago. I want real freedom. I want to be able to walk out of prison and actually say that I'm free.
What was Ortega doing?
In 1997, Ashanti's petition for a parole hearing was denied. But 2 years later, he is given a second chance.
Parole board hearing is here, and I'm thankful to God that it's taking place. This is my daughter, Washington. I feel good. I feel excited. I have a lot of hope. And, you know, I'm just looking forward to making my presentation before the board.
Have a seat, sir. Will you state your name, sir?
My name is George Witherspoon, sir.
Third felony offender?
Yes, sir.
Armed robbery?
Yes, sir.
Sentenced November 22nd, 1972.
Yes, sir.
75 years of hard labor?
Yes, sir.
Let me explain something a little bit about myself, and then you'll understand where I'm coming from. In January of 1972, while under the influence of LSD, I came through Shreveport, pulled off a robbery. It led to a shootout with police. 2 police were shot, I was shot, and my fall partner was shot. But nobody died. 9 months later, I was sentenced to 75 years in prison. I've been here since then. That's over 25 years.
Mr. Witherspoon, you have been up for parole before?
Yes, sir, in 1994.
1994. Well, basically, you know what the procedure is.
My board consisted of a former chief of police, the chairman of the board, and a victim's rights advocate. But I had Warden Kane appear before the board in my behalf.
Would you care to make a statement at this time?
I really would. I've been a warden 17 years. I've seen a lot of good inmates, I've seen a lot of bad, and I would say that he is the very best of the best. The thing I like most is he absolutely admits what he did, he's sorry for what he did, he's genuine in his feelings and his thoughts. And so I know, and I sit here thinking, if you all see fit, and I know we don't know what you know, we don't know what you have from Shreveport and other places, so we can't really make the decision you have to make, and I appreciate where you come from. But if you do free him, you won't have to worry tonight that I do the right thing. And if I were sitting in your place, I would.
Thank you very much, sir. Shante, Mr. Witherspoon, this is now your time to tell us why we ought to let you out early.
Well, sir, I'm sorry for the crime that I committed. I mean, I was wrong. I was wrong for anything that I've ever done in my life that was wrong. I pray that this is God's time now for me. And if you allow me to be released, I can promise you that you'll never regret it. I can promise you that a lot of lives in society will be changed. I know that the Spirit of God will move and the changes will take place. This is what I desire to do, and I just pray that God has touched your heart, that you felt something through reading my record, through listening to my supporters, through anything that I might have said that will help you all to decide that I deserve the same thing.
Thank you very much. All right, big moment. Mr. Herbert, do you have the vote sheet?
Yes. I've been impressed by this. I tried to be as fair with my thought with you as I could be. So, and I'm only one vote, but at this time, my vote is to grant.
Ms. McCarson.
I also vote to grant.
I vote to grant your parole, sir.
Well, that is a work release. That is a 6 month work release. Mr. McCarthy put that.
Young lady, you'll have a long time to cherish and love him. Please let us have him for a few more minutes. Now, we're filling out your form. Just sit tight there. And on your parole certificate, you got a lot of conditions. You will be on parole for what? To the completion of your sentence.
Yes,
you make that parole officer your very best friend. And if I had that much hanging over me, I certainly would be very diligent outside and try not to come back. Although Warden Kane says he's got a place for you.
Tell you one thing, after what I said, if he comes back, I'm gonna wring his neck.
So, in the words of our Savior, go and sin no more. Let him come up here. He wants to get it himself.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, man. All right.
How you feel?
I feel fantastic.
You did it,
I told you it was coming home. I feel so great. I knew it was going to happen today, though. I did. I really did.
How'd you know it was going to happen?
I just felt it. It was just in my bones.
Yeah.
I told you it was coming home.
Yeah.
I told you. I told you, Daddy. Love you, too.
First, I want to acknowledge the fact that this is Ashanti's last time to be with us. And whenever in my church I have to say goodbye to somebody, I say, oh, it's such a sad occasion to say goodbye. But it really isn't, is it?
No.
No. No.
I feel you.
All right, thank you.
All right. Be cool, man.
I'm excited because I know that after tonight, this 27 years will be over. This 27 years and almost 6 months is over. You know, it's finally come to an end. I look forward to being able to go out by myself. I look forward to being able to do all the things that everybody else in society does that they just kind of take for granted because, you know, they don't live in prison. And I look forward to some nights going to a theater to sit down and just watch a movie, you know. Maybe going to sit on the side of the levee and just looking out on the river, you know. So it's a lot of little things, you know. Yeah, what's been happening? Like I said, I've been here 27 years, and there's a lot of us who are in here who grew up together.
Describe this 22-year-old who came in here.
That guy doesn't even exist anymore. That guy doesn't even exist anymore. This is all that counts, right here. You're looking at it, Shante.
The impact that he has on people. This man is like a brother, a big brother, a father. But this man had kept me on my feet and kept love in my heart. I'm glad he's going home, but it hurts.
There's mixed emotions. There's sadness in me because of all the friends that I'm leaving behind. But at the same time, there's excitement of happiness knowing that I am going out there to, you know, to begin a new life.
I have seen it, Jim. Yeah, I don't know. All right, thank you. All right, Mike. All right.
I feel a sense of excitement. You know, I don't feel a sense of anxiety. I can't make up for any lost time, you know. Can't make up for the years that have gone by. I'm going to start from that day and just live one day at a time.
I don't think about time. I try to have a schedule. I read, meditate, and I'm constantly struggling with law.
Vincent Simmons has been in Angola prison since 1977. He is serving 100 years for aggravated rape of twin teenage sisters. He claims he is innocent.
When you off into something and you fighting so hard to try to prove something, you know that you're entitled to, you lose all sense of time.
There aren't many ways to get out of Angola. For eligible inmates, the law guarantees one parole board hearing. In 1997, Vincent's chance came after 20 years behind bars.
Are the victims here yet on Vincent Simmons?
They all here, we take them now.
We take them.
In Louisiana, victims can choose to be notified of all parole and pardon board hearings and are permitted to address the board.
Just be relaxed. Just be calm.
I've lived in a lot of fear. I have a problem with black people. I can't pull up at a store and there be black men. I have a hard time. I'm scared of them.
You're not scared of me this morning, are you?
No, I wouldn't, but I wouldn't be alone with you either. But
Let's go both ways. How old were you when this happened?
14. It happened, yeah, 20 years ago. 20 years means nothing to me. That's yesterday to me.
We feel sorrow. We feel your sorrow.
This board is very sympathetic to you.
Thank you.
You can rest assured that this board's going to do its duty.
Thank you.
Have a seat in the chair right here, Vincent.
Mr. Sellers, come here and have a seat.
Accepting responsibility for one's crime and expressing remorse can be preconditions for receiving parole. But Vincent came in ready to plead his case for innocence.
Would you answer Mr. Magri's questions, please?
Sir.
You committed these 2 rapes?
No, sir. I've been trying to get the evidence since I've been here to prove my innocence.
You pled guilty?
No, sir.
Okay.
We didn't have none of this evidence. None of this evidence was presented before the jury because the DA had it in his file.
The evidence, none of which was presented at the original trial, included a doctor's report issued 2 weeks after the rape revealing that one of the girls remained a virgin, and a victim statement given to the police that, quote, all blacks look alike. The conviction hinged on the eyewitness testimony of the 2 female victims, Karen and Sharon Sanders, and their cousin Keith.
And they put you in a lineup, didn't they?
This is the lineup, right?
Put you in a lineup, and they said they all picked out the man.
No, when they brought me in, I was handcuffed, and they was there.
Where's that lineup, deal?
Let me picture that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You were the only one handcuffed in the lineup?
I'm the only one.
That's the other half. They just didn't have the wide angle.
Yeah, but...
You don't want anything.
Are you bringing this case up for rehearing?
I'm presently in the United States Supreme Court. I'm trying to get in the United States Supreme Court.
Yeah.
I have no further questions.
Okay, if y'all step out, we'll discuss the case.
Would you help him get that over?
Yeah, take this.
Take that. Yeah, 20 years I come up with something too.
Oh, yeah. He did. Ain't no doubt in my mind. Well, don't write too much now. We can get this thing over with. You can write a book on it after we get to the office. He did it. He just didn't. You know, I have a...
Of course he did. Of course. Just give me one.
Okay, and bring Mr. Simmons back in. Just Mr. Simmons. Mr. Simmons, after listening to testimony and going over the reports, the board has voted this time to deny your request for parole. And certainly you have a right to pursue your case through the United States Supreme Court, and I certainly would do that. You know, that's your legal right. Good luck.
$100. I did 20 on 100. That means I got 80 more.
While gangs and violence are prevalent in many prisons, routine and order define daily life in Angola. Acts of violence by inmates, including assault, suicide, and escape, have dropped 74% under Warden Kane's watch.
I felt compelled to try to make this a normal, decent place to live and do your time. The prison is really like the city. Your bed in a dorm is your house, and 3 beds down is 3 doors down, and go speak to your neighbor and build community, and that's what we did.
Where an inmate fits in the Angola community depends upon his behavior and attitude. The transition from a new arrival to a Class A trustee takes over a decade. It can mean the difference between being a farmhand living in a cell block and, for a very few, having the chance to participate in programs outside the prison walls, albeit accompanied by guards. Salaries range from 2 to 20 cents an hour. No matter his status or how long he's been in Angola, one major violation and an inmate can find himself in the harsh confines of Camp J. These men might only be allowed out of their cells 1 hour a day. But find a way to remain hopeful and work within the rules, and the prison can be a surprisingly peaceful place to spend a lifetime.
Well, some of this is so foreign that other prisons can't hardly fathom how we have a lot of wardens come see us and a lot of other systems, but it's just hard to get here because a lot of the public wouldn't want you to do what we do. They want their prison system to be harsh and get even, and they don't understand rehabilitation. You see, this is an inmate, and he's doing a life sentence for murder, and he's just taking these line horses back in. And he's cold, and he's galloping on along here. That's a cowboy for you. How you doing? Are you cold?
No, sir.
You not cold?
No, sir.
That's good. I'd be cold if I was you. That horse has got on a warm coat.
Yes, sir. Sure does.
Okay, we'll see you.
All right, sir. Have a good day.
All right.
You get along well with them, most of the inmates?
Oh, all of them. That's pretty cool, isn't it? You know, he's in prison, but he's busy and he's doing something. It's important what he's doing. He's saving me a correctional officer. That's pretty cool.
Angola is increasingly self-sustaining. 4 million pounds of prison-grown vegetables are consumed here yearly. Hundreds of horses are raised to handle the field work. The beef from the 2,000 grass-fed cattle is considered too much of a luxury for the prisoners, so the calves are sold into the marketplace and a lower-grade meat is purchased with the proceeds.
You know, you don't get to see that anywhere else. And so, it's a beautiful church, isn't it, in front of us? And that's the Camp F church. Well, that's a real important part of this prison because there ain't no bars here. There's no porn shops to go to, so but there's a church. And so it just reflects the moral side of us.
Build me an altar in this place. House in the rain. Oh, yeah.
When the law falls short, when forgiveness wanes and the gates shut tightly, faith in God emerges stronger than ever.
Yes, I will. Come on, everybody, say rain.
Over the last decade, the role of religion has grown at Angola. Financed by donations, 5 new churches are built. An accredited Bible college is established, and morality becomes the catchword for Warden Kane's correctional policy.
This is our little bell. Moral rehabilitation is the only true rehabilitation. We teach them the skills and trades, read, write, and all that, but we just made a smarter criminal unless we have a moral component with it, and that comes from the heart. And so we don't care where we find a morality. An atheist can be moral, and we get them in here, and then we can start working on them to be more moral, a moral person. We all know that God is a just and a true God, and He loves us, and He may let us struggle, and He may leave us here, but He's got eternal life waiting for us and streets of gold, so that's what we have to work for. I believe in the human race, and I think people in my business have to really think and remember corrections, corrective behavior, not torment and torture, but to make better what came to us in our care, and that's how we measure our success.
Come on, let's give it all a hand for it, amen. Amen.
I've been a warden 26 years. I didn't do all that without learning something. My inmates I release from here have to be worthy. So I've got to work real hard to change them, and you saw that in this prison. There's no anger here. 1 out of every 2 inmates you saw murdered somebody. 1 out of every 2 that you see in this prison is a murder. And you only have murder, rape, armed robber, habitual felons. I get rid of you when you get 40 years short. I normally send you to a medium security prison. This is hardest core prison as it gets, but it worked.
But religion alone does not keep order in Angola. Security is an around-the-clock concern. Whether it's the numerous counts each day to make sure no one has escaped, the dog chase team always on alert.
Hey, y'all sit up on his bed. Sit up on your bed, man.
Or the shakedown crews randomly working their way through the prison.
First row, now get up, come up here.
Take your shoes off, everything out of your pocket. Shake y'all down, after we finish shaking you down, go to the TV room, go on the game room.
With so much surveillance, hiding illegal paraphernalia requires ingenuity.
See how it going? It's a piece of gum. Looks like a piece of gum. Maybe you open it up. Some dice.
That's a good job there.
They use that to gamble with.
They had it here good, didn't they? Look, they had it wrapped up with some paper and some gum. Had it here good.
Making one's way through the maze that is Angola can take decades. Few understand this better than Bishop Eugene Tannehill.
I remember the first day coming to the gate was October the 4th, 1959, on the Wednesday. I must have been about 24 years old then. Serving time is just like a puzzle, a 2,000-piece puzzle. There it is. Throw it to you, and it scatters every which way. So now, put it back together. That's the way your life is. When you sentenced to a penal institution, your life is scattered. You the one got to put it back together. As a young man, 24 years old, thank you, Jesus, met a man, innocent man, a good man, on a railroad track one morning, and with the clap of my hand, I took that man's life.
Even back in 1997, faith was a big part of life at Angola. And it was Bishop Tannehill, with close to 40 years down on a life sentence for murder, who was considered the prison's spiritual leader.
I found out, Jimmy. I found out that somebody loved me up there. Hallelujah. Somebody loved me up there. Said, Lord, I'm ashamed of what I've done. I repent what I've done. I'm sorry for what I've done. Cleanse me, wash me, save me, sanctify me, hold me, say that. Say that. Hallelujah. Say hallelujah. Repent.
Bishop had been recommended for a pardon nearly a decade earlier, but walking out a free man required a governor's signature. He offered a simple explanation for why it hadn't happened.
God haven't submitted him to sign it. If I was ready from within to meet the challenge from without, then God knows.
After serving nearly 50 years at Angola, Governor Kathleen Blanco signed his pardon in 2007.
I had a vision and a revelation to come out of this. All of this was waiting for me. You know what happened? I sowed the good seed in Angola and I come to New York City to reap the harvest. That's a nice combination, ain't it?
Yeah, let's come on in. Now, come on in the bedroom here. Y'all check it out there. How you... around?
Within weeks, he is living in an apartment in New York and working with the Brooklyn Tabernacle Church.
That's the principal of the Bible College. Oh, yeah.
What's it like having your own room?
Huh?
In the beginning, was it weird sleeping in your own room?
Oh, man, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. Having your own, this is paradise-sized prison. This is paradise-sized prison.
You got some nice clothes you got.
Oh, 18 suits. I don't mean Salvation Army suits neither, no, sir. 18 suits as others. 18.
How does that feel like to get dressed now?
What's that?
How does it feel getting dressed up nice after all the years?
Oh, man, sure. I have divorced the past, wedding the present, and I have married the future. How's that?
Hey everybody, this is KLSP 91.7, the station that kicks behind the bricks. I'm Goldie, and you know what it means when you hear that sound. The spin doctor just moved out, I'm moving in. And I tell you what, we're gonna pause for the calls right now to bring it on down, and we're gonna put this music on and let you do it. Remember, nobody does it like I do because they can't do it like I can.
More than 10 years have passed since the documentary The Farm was completed in 1997. Two of the men, George Crawford and Vincent Simmons, are still behind bars. The other two, Ashanti Witherspoon and Bishop Tannehill, are free. Along the way, the warden continued pursuing his unique agenda, and the prison once considered among the bloodiest in America changed.
Whoa, the preacher's preaching. I knew that we were on track of something that really worked, and we fixed it. We stopped the brutality. We stopped being oppressive. And so I had to have somebody tell the story.
Warden Kane has effectively engaged the media to showcase the importance of reform.
The media was the vehicle. The media used us economically, but we used the media philosophically. We did good with that.
Getting the message out to the public is only half of the equation. For years, the prison has operated a radio station and published a magazine. In 2006, the warden launched a prisoner-run closed-circuit television station so that everyone in Angola, even those on death row, could watch. The programs include football, church services, and fight night.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to this live television.
So tonight we have a boxing match, and we're going to film it. We're broadcasting live tonight, so the whole institution gets to see it all over the farm.
Let me see your headphones for a second.
Sean Vaughn is the television station's technical director.
I call the shots, I direct the cameramen, I direct the commentators, take care of the recording, the on-air monitors, all of that. It's quite an undertaking.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by way of unanimous decision, Homer Johnson.
Right now we broadcast to the institution. Of course, the institution is a small town, 5,100 inmates. But I wanted to be a full-fledged TV station like Louisiana Public Broadcasting. We could reach out, let people see what's going on in here, and see real people, not just numbers, not news segments. I want them to see the real people.
Sean is serving a life sentence for second-degree murder and is not eligible for parole or probation. He has been in Angola since 1998.
It's my little personal space. It's all I have, 2 locker boxes and 1 bag. And
make do with what you have, you know. It's just all kind of mapped out for us. You know, right here, this is my front yard. I don't have a backyard. That's Ricky's backyard, and that's Smitty's bed there, and that's it. I miss my family. I miss my daughter, my wife. They've been so supportive over the years. You know, they've been right there by my side, and so I owe them tremendous debt when I get home.
In 2002, 4 years into his sentence, Sean married Tina, his childhood sweetheart.
This is an unusual marriage. I know people wonder, well, why is she staying with me, because I can't do anything for her, and they're of course talking about physically. But marriage is more than physical contact. You know, it's more than that. There's an emotional attachment, an emotional bond that grows. I mean, we truly are one flesh, you know, and worked hard to achieve that.
It's a choice. You have to be willing to make that commitment. You have to be willing to know that there's the possibility that they won't ever get out. And are you willing to stick with that person no matter what?
When we're up here, we're in our own little world, and it feels really good. And so when they leave, you know, I have to go through some mental gymnastics to go back down the wall to the dorm or back to work or whatever, and it all settles back in on me that I'm here and I'm in prison. You know, for those few hours, I was not. I was free. Whenever I'm with them, I'm free. I wasn't out there living a life of crime. I mean, before coming to prison, I mean, I was a productive citizen. I was a homeowner. I wasn't a bad guy out there. Things happened, and I wound up here.
Several years of dealing with a highly contentious breakup led to a violent confrontation with his former girlfriend.
A situation that got out of hand. And there was a situation that dragged on for 3 years. I went to the police about it and got no help. And I guess I didn't realize how badly it had affected me. And one day the situation seriously escalated, and I took somebody's life. And I hate that.
Have you tried to reach out to the victim's family?
I would like to. Yeah, I'd like to reach out and talk to them if I could. Let them know. Let them know that I'm sorry. I mean, sorry is not a strong enough word, but really, what can you say? I'm very sorry. None of that was supposed to happen. It wasn't intentional. It was so fast, you know, but I just want to let them know that I'm sorry.
You know, no one should be released from prison that someone's going to be afraid of. I think in America we should live as free people. We should live free of fear. And so therefore, for that to happen, we have to do a better job of inmate-victim reconciliation. We're working on doing that. We're doing some of that now. I wish we could move it along faster, but it's a very sensitive thing because the victim's family has to be in agreement, obviously, and the inmate has to be worthy.
I sit and look at my surroundings. I mean, you put it out of your mind sometimes. You know, I mean, you know you're here, this is where you live. I can reach over here, touch the next guy. You know, you put it out of your mind. But you know, sometimes it just gets really hard. It just gets really, really hard. You know, you look at this and you say to yourself, this is it. This is all that there will ever be. And you look to the future and there is none. It's just empty space.
After 28 years in Angola, Ashanti Witherspoon is paroled. Within a week, he travels home to Chicago to be with his family.
And this is going to be the first time seeing my mother since 1986, and a number of my other relatives since 1971. You know, my daughter was actually born 3 months after I was incarcerated. But we maintained a close communication all the years that I was locked up. You know, so I've never had a chance to spend one day in society with her. So this is gonna be a fantastic Christmas holiday.
Rosenberg Pharmacy.
Do they still have an Illinois Central?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because all the while,
right
they got Dominic. I mean, they got a shopping center here.
Right.
Okay.
Bowling alley used to be over there.
Yeah, bowling alley. We used to hang out up in there. Yeah, they had the coffee cup still here.
Coffee cup was right.
It's not there anymore.
Right.
Closed. So,
Hey, Daddy. How you doing?
Oh man, fantastic. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Your skin look all different.
How does it look different?
It look a little fresher or something.
Fresher and smoother.
Yeah. I'm so happy though.
Saw my daughter, my brother, and my mother.
Oh, oh, you look so good. Oh, you look good.
All right. Want everybody look at the camera and wave at it.
Wave at the camera. Bye. Hi, camera.
Hello, world.
Hi. Hello, America. Hello. My daddy's home. Let them home, Uncle.
Now a free person, Ashanti finally fulfills an old wish.
The first thing I want to do when I get out, I want to take a bath. I know that might sound strange, but you know, there are little small things that you miss by being incarcerated that you remember that brought you so much joy when you were younger. And I like to go out and, I like to take a bath. I like to sit down in the bathtub, just soak in the bathtub, and just enjoy it. Just sit there for a little while. But once I got out, I realized that I didn't just want to take a bath. I decided I want to take a bath in the same bathtub that I used to take it in when I was a child, and that's in my mother's home. And today, on December the 22nd, 1999, is the day I'm taking my first bath in 28 years.
Good afternoon, Angola. You're listening to KLSP Blasting 91.7 and 102.3. This is the incarceration station, the only one in the nation. It's a joyous time, but I want you to know one thing, fellas. Your family needs you just as much as we need them. Send cards. Write your children, write your mother, write your father. Let your families know that you love them no matter what, no matter where.
Angola prison is so isolated, 25 miles down a dead-end road, that they had to build a town inside its gates. Known as the Beeline, its residents, 600 employees and their families, claim it's the safest town in America. Holidays are celebrated by the free people. But for inmates, they are a grim reminder of what they've lost. The average inmate stops receiving visitors within a few years of arriving in prison. But 10 years later, George's mother still makes the 3-hour trip from her home in New Orleans.
First, it started off with 2 visits a month. And then this trip is just so hard on me. Once I get home, I can't do nothing but take a shower and go to bed because I'm just bored out, I'm drained. So then I cut it down to once a month. I'm doing time with him. We both doing the time together. That's why I say I'll be glad when this is over. And with prayers, and I do know it's gonna be over. You know, it might take a while, but George's gonna get out of this. I'm doing it again, all right, doing it. All right, how you doing? Oh, Lord, I'm getting to the point now, I'm getting kind of used to it now. Just When I get here, my heart beats fast, you know, but I'm excited because I know I'm going to see him. But it's hard. I never did uphold my kids, none of my kids. If they did something, and I know they did, I would admit to it, but I don't. I deeply believe in my heart. I still believe it. He didn't do this.
After years of progressing toward trustee status and its privileges, George is accused of being part of a gambling ring and is sent to the hold, where contact visits are prohibited.
I wish you wouldn't have came today.
What's up, George?
Somebody put a knife upstairs.
Somebody did what?
Put a knife, planted a knife on me. Not on me, it was upstairs.
I don't like seeing you like this.
It's the second time I'm locked up bad. Second time.
I understand how people just keep setting you up.
I don't know. It just seems like when I try to do right, things go wrong. But when I go wrong, things go right.
You know, you got to play by their rules.
There ain't no more rules.
This is just too heartbreaking. I'm serious. It's hard.
I ain't know the outcome of that. I wish you wouldn't have came.
No, every time I come in, if you're on lockdown out, it's catch me by surprise all the time.
10 years. This 10 years. 10 years later, look where I'm at. 10 years later. I don't know. It might be over for me. I said I'd never give up hope, but it might be. That might be a sign all this happening that it's over. It's over, George. It's over for you. I don't know, Mama. Everybody gone. You the only one.
It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right, you know. Don't ever lose hope. And you keep praying, and like I told you, just keep praying. Prayers open doors, so yeah, you just got to keep praying.
I love you, love.
I love you too.
You take care of yourself. Drive carefully. Drive carefully. Look, don't cry.
No, I'm
You're
good.
crying now. Wipe your face, Mom.
Good.
Don't do that.
I'm good.
Man, wipe your face. Don't cry.
I'm good. I'm good. It wasn't good to see him locked behind that thing, you know, because I couldn't touch him, hold him, or kiss him, so I had to take what I can get, you know. But like I told him, I'm gonna be praying for him. Everything gonna work out all right.
Shackles cutting me up, huh? Seeing my mom, I feel better. I feel a lot better now.
And he keep on, don't cry. No, I was trying not to, you know, but I don't know. Being a mother, what can you do?
Most Angola inmates pursue their legal cases with no outside counsel. But in the years following the farm, an international movement grew in support of Vincent Simmons' efforts for a new trial.
I have a constitutional right to have my story told to the world and to let the world know, what happened, and that what happened has been a great injustice.
Understanding how Vincent got to Angola requires going back to where he came from. His hometown and the scene of the crime.
I didn't have a father that would say, give me the rights and the wrong and, prepare me for the outside. The things that I learned, I really learned it from outsiders on the streets.
Vincent was always in trouble. We'd arrest him quite a few times before that.
Vincent's been in trouble with the law for many years, ever since he's about 15, I imagine.
They railroaded him. That's what they did.
Vincent was a good brother. He used to take me to church.
He has a nasty attitude.
It's time for us to get this guy off the streets. That's what they done to Vincent, man.
He couldn't have did it because he was at a club with us.
Everybody knew everybody in that town. And if somebody would fight, they would always say, well, Vincent did that.
This isn't about color. It's about rape, a crime that he did.
When I asked him who had done it and why he had did it, he said, Mama, I didn't do it. That's all he would tell me.
I believe that the crimes that he has committed merits the sentence that he received, and I believe that he should serve that entire sentence.
100 years.
Yes, sir. I don't think he ought to ever walk out of those gates.
But evidence revealed at the parole board hearing raises questions about the conviction. Questions that were never asked at the original trial.
Here was the line that Sharon said. He was sort of short and he was husky. He was husky and all blacks look alike to me, so I would know him if I ever saw him.
I don't even know why I said that, because I would have known him. I knew him, when they had him lined up, I knew him right off. I knew without a shadow of a doubt. I don't know why. I don't know if it was because I was nervous or just not everything was coming to me. I don't know. That face is engraved in our mind forever. When you look into someone's eyes that is doing the things to us that he did to us, you don't forget it. Those eyes do not change. He may get grayer or he may this and that, but those eyes are the same. Those eyes that I looked into, that I begged.
So you just willing to sit here with me and swear to God?
I'm innocent. And I know one thing, if I lie, I know what I'm facing. I'm innocent of this charge that I'm in prison on.
The newly discovered evidence may fuel claims of injustice, but without DNA or a solid alibi, the courts refuse to rehear his case.
The only ones that'll ever really know the truth are me and Sharon and Keith and Vincent and God. Those are the only ones that are ever going to really know the truth. But I would like to look him in the eyes. I would just like to see if that we sat face to face, that if he could look me in the eyes and I can look him in the eyes, whether he could still hang on to the lie that he's telling.
Sure, I would meet with him. I would like to meet with him myself.
22 years after the crime. 22 years since they last saw each other in the courtroom. Karen, Sharon, and Vincent agree to meet. The twins arrive at Angola with the intention of offering Vincent their forgiveness. Vincent's objective is to convince them they helped convict an innocent man.
Y'all ready now?
As ready as we'll ever be. Okay.
Y'all come on in.
I'm fine.
You want to sit right here?
You okay?
All right.
Okay.
Vincent, these two ladies wanted to come by. They wanted to come and visit with you and talk to you. We're going to let them say the words they want to say first, and then you just kind of go with that flow, all right? Okay.
Okay, I'm going to try. Okay? Because this is very hard for us. as you probably know. Okay, but the thing is that we came today not to free you from your prison, but to free us from our prison. I cannot change what you did to us, but I can change how I'll let it affect my life. No one knows our fears and our daily struggles. You have no idea how you hurt us. You'll never know. Only through God am I able to forgive you, but I cannot and will not ever forget the pain you have caused us. And no matter how I feel about you, God still loves you. The truly sad thing is, you're not willing to admit your guilt, which puts you in a bigger prison than Angola. I may not walk out of here pain-free or fear-free, but I can try to take back control of my life. And that's what I've wanted to say.
And for me, there's a lot of things I wanted to say to you about the anger and the pain that I felt. But I don't think it's important. I think the main thing that's important is to tell you that I don't hate you. And that today I am closing the door to my pain. And I have to tell you that on my own, I can't forgive you, but through God, I definitely can. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, he can.
Well, first I would like to open with a few words from the scripture. Commit your ways to the Lord, and he shall bring it to
You're reading from the scripture, and if you have a statement you wanted to say or anything, say that.
What is
Am I be allowed to
Yeah, I'm gonna allow you.
say what I want to say, please?
But what is the point of reading this the scripture?
Yeah, well, I have some questions. I thought I would have been able to ask some questions. I thought this what the interview was about.
You asked me a question.
Now, my question's going to be directly based on your statement that you
No, we're not going there because I tell you what, we've already been through this. We're not going through it anymore. I mean, we're not putting ourselves through it anymore. You have a question about the legal system, you need to take it up with a lawyer or someone else. Me and Sharon are here because we have to
And the
be.
thing you need to realize is that you know the truth. You do. And until you let go of your truth, you're going to stay in your mental prison forever, and that's sad.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
Oh, I bet.
I thank God for that. I don't hold anything against you or your family. I have no hate in my heart towards you.
Why would you? Why would you have any hate towards us?
Because from what I have here, the evidence.
Have you ever
There's a
dealt
lot
with the
of things.
rape issue and not the legal
Well, that's
issue
what
so
I'm
much?
talking about. I'm talking about y'all's statement.
What are you doing here then, since you're innocent? What are you doing here?
Y'all put me here.
We did? No, a choice that you chose to make put you here.
Now look,
Okay, I think we've had enough.
Here,
we're here to do reconciliation and not try the case.
Judy,
Give them some
what do you
freedom.
think? I think it's kind of going sour. Where's it?
Kenson, maybe one day you can get out of your pain, of your misery.
Well, I felt bad about the way that the interview went. I thought it was designed for us to talk. They say they forgive me for what I've done to them. You know, I've been hurt too.
I feel sorry for him. He's not going to be able to experience the freedom that we're experiencing. And he just don't realize by talking about what he's done, what a release that would be for him. And I just feel bad for him.
I have faith. Faith, that's what I've been living with. Faith. That somewhere, somebody will come to help me to prove my innocence.
Innocence or guilt, truth or lies. The difference between freedom and the ultimate nightmare. After decades preaching from behind bars, Bishop Tannehill is sharing his faith amongst the free.
I stand here this morning saved by the blood of Jesus. Yes, sir. I wear the signs and the true evidence that Jesus saved sinners.
A few months into his new life, he comes back to his old home.
Lord have mercy. Look at the shoes you wear. Let me see that old watch, man. Let me see that. Look at this. I don't know what to think of you. How long will it take you to realize you really free?
Oh, Lord, it is. I hate to pinch myself a lot of times. A lot of times I kick myself walking them streets. And sometimes the old devil would whisper, say, "You ain't free yet." I say, "Yes, I is too."
Yes, I is too.
I say, "Yes, I is too." Yes.
You got to tell that to the devil. Huh?
Yeah, you got to tell him. Yeah, you got to tell him.
That's crazy. I love it.
Yes, sir.
Bishop is just beginning to adjust to life as a free person. But Ashanti Witherspoon, after 8 years on parole, has established himself as a community organizer and motivational speaker for at-risk youth.
How's everybody doing? Oh, why do we have to go through this all of the time? I don't need a podium, thank you. I don't really need it. Why do we have to go through this all the time? How's everybody doing? There you go, that's fantastic. My name is George Ashanti Witherspoon.
One of my main areas that I focus on is working towards deterring young people away from lives of crime and realizing that they can rise to be anything that they want to be in life.
They say that each one of us is one bad decision from a life sentence in prison. What's your name?
Ashanti has found success on the outside, but the transition was not without its challenges.
Once I was out, as long as it was daytime, everything was all right, but the closer it began to get towards the evening, I started feeling this sense of anxiety, this sense of apprehension, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And by the time it started getting to night, I found myself feeling very uncomfortable, and I had to be indoors, and there was this part of me that felt that I could be in a position where I can be set up. Not necessarily purposely set up, but somebody might finger me for being somebody who might have been involved in a robbery or some other crime that I didn't have anything to do with. So that was my initial, I guess you say, anxiety or apprehension about being out after dark. But as the period went on, it just kind of wore off more and more, and I began to travel more, and then there wasn't anything. I didn't have any problems with it at all.
Is there anything you miss from prison?
You gonna stay around? How you gonna stay somewhere 50 years and don't forget it? You sure I miss it. You stay in a place 10 years, you gonna miss something.
What's the part you miss?
Fellowship. I know everybody. I know that all my friends is here. All the friends out there. All my friends is here. That's right.
We have a lot of Bishop Tannehills in these prisons and in this prison. Well, there's probably a couple of hundred that would never commit the crime again. And we still, though, spend all that money on you to keep you there when the prison should be for predators. And you look at Ashanti, Ashanti was giving back. He was the opposite of taking. So therefore, we knew for sure he was on the way to rehabilitation or rehabilitated because he had this give back mentality, not just take everything I see, everything I want mentality.
That was me there. That was in 1975.
What does that make you think when you look at that picture?
How times have changed. How much I've changed, how much we've all changed.
As part of his mentoring program, Ashanti travels to prisons throughout Louisiana, including Angola.
How you all doing today? What's going on? Fantastic. One of the reasons I chose this path was because I spent so much time in Angola. You know, I left a lot of friends behind, and I wanted to be in a position where I can see them, where I can feel them, where they can see me, where they can feel me, feel my presence, and be in a position where I can possibly be a help to them. And some of the relationships that were developed in here were solid. Returning to Angola is a lot like coming home. What's happening, my brother? But it's a home where I don't have to live it anymore.
There's two places you're gonna find true friendship. One is in military during wartime, because everyone has to watch out for everyone. And in a prison setting, such as Angola, when Ashanti and I came, it was rough. We were in the parish at the same time. We grew up together here. You know, it's like brothers in the blood. We grew up together.
Prison is very much a part of my life because I'm involved with prison ministry, and I work with a number of the inmates that's working towards trying to help them get out of prison. But no, it's not a distant memory. It's still very much a part of my life. I went in at the age of 22 and I was released when I was 50. Police officers were shot. I was shot twice. The bullet's still in my head. I have to speak with the plate. I have to speak with this in my mouth because there's a large bullet hole that shows the passageway. You can't allow the situations in the world around you to influence you in any kind of a negative way, because if they do, the only person who's going to lose is you.
Ain't nothing fun about being here in Angola. This is real. This ain't nothing to be played with. Cause they don't take much, you know, the wrong friends, just bad choices. It's bad choices. That's what led me in this position, making bad choices.
While there have been many ups and downs during George's first decade of incarceration, over the years, he began to grow. The biggest change in his life is being married.
When I first started filming, I kind of felt sorry for him. And I just thought I could help him. I started writing him, and we, started writing each other back and forth. And like maybe 6 months or 7 months later, I started coming to see him, and I've been coming since. It's 339214. 33? Mm-hmm. We've been married for 5 years now. You know, it gets hard sometimes. Majority of the time, it gets real hard, knowing he's here and I'm there. Well, my mom, she never had anything bad to say about it, but my other family, they just think I'm crazy. But I'm not crazy. Because even though he's here, we done had some good times just sitting back there talking. Because, sometimes you can't talk to other people or your family or whatever. I feel like I can come to him and talk to him about anything, and he gonna listen, and we gonna talk and try to work it out.
It's very hard, not being able to be there for your wife physically, mentally. I mean, it's hard. And me being here, I know she be needing me there also.
It has its good days and its bad days, and it's real stressful.
I'm gonna say the more a person, not just her, but my family or any outside, that I might embrace that friend, the more they make me feel loved and wanted, that made me more determined. It could be 40 years from now, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out.
It's 40 years from now. You gonna be here?
I'll be here. I'll be here 40 years from now. If I still be living, I'll be here.
I don't believe it. I mean, I know she loves me. I love her. But she also have a life to live. She might hang out 40 days. When I know 40 years, she might be there. I wouldn't even want that strain on her. No, I wouldn't want her to go through what I'm going through. That's a lot of strain. That's a big burden to carry. For you to split your life. You got that letter about my son, about trying to go get him? You sent his shoes?
They in the car. I got those shoes. They in the car. in the trunk of my car.
Started last week.
I know they started last week. You sitting there talking about you really don't realize and understand how hard it is out there besides what's going on in here, because what's going on in here is not what's going on out there.
Yeah.
And you really don't understand how hard it is.
You have what you call, you probably heard this before. You say you make your bed hard. Your bed hard because you made it hard.
No,
when
not because I made it hard.
When I met you was a single parent.
And I'm still a single parent, very independent. When you met me, the gas prices is not as nearly like they were back then. Gas has gone up. Everything is gone up. Cost of living is gone up. You don't know all that because you're here. Read the newspaper, you'll see.
I read it. It ain't a marriage, it's just an image. I just wanted to grapple on to the first thing that came my way. I just felt I needed more support than my family. I needed that comfort. But it's something that I wouldn't encourage nobody to do up here in this situation.
Since the meeting between the Sanders twins and Vincent Simmons, both sides continue to uphold their positions. Vincent insisting on his innocence and seeking a new trial, Karen and Sharon struggling to free themselves from their own grief and anger. Although support for Vincent continues, his multiple appeals have been denied. Karen Sanders wrote a book about the crime so she could tell the story in her own words.
This is where it begins. This is the beginning, right here. The man walked over and said, "Hey, man, you almost hit me with your car." Sharon and I just stood in silence. The book was amazing. It was one of the best things I've ever done. Everybody said I couldn't do it because, I mean, I have a 6th grade education, for God's sake. You know, Karen, you can't do it. You need to find someone to do it. And I was like, why? It's my story. Yeah, but you're not a writer. If you have a story, we're all writers. Simmons asked, would you take me for a ride home? My stomach felt like it had butterflies swimming in it. I suddenly had a strong urge to throw up, and Sharon's blue eyes grew as wide as saucers. First thing you want to do is hate them. But all that hate does is fester. And the more it festers, there's no room for healing, there's no room for growth. And with the farm, that door was open. It just kind of broke me out of that cocoon, and I was able to find freedom. It does feel a little strange when I come down this road because I know where it's leading, I know what took place here. And it does tend to kind of stir up a little anxiety, but I know I'm safe, so it's okay. There it is. There it is. We've now headed down a lonely dirt road. Simmons said, stop here. It all felt wrong. He didn't bring us to this isolated area for nothing. It almost seems like a dream, but yet the jitters inside tell me that it's real. It's for real. It all happened right here on this stretch of road. The funny thing is that I wished it would have never happened, but I don't regret it happening because it's all a part of who I am now. And it's molded the way I think.
And maybe it's made me more compassionate to someone else or to other people or whatever because it did happen. And if that's what it took to get me where I'm supposed to be or whatever, then I accept that. I mean, no, I'm not glad it happened. I hate that it happened. But I don't regret that it happened because everything that happens to you in life makes you who you are. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
If you saw Vincent today, would you say something different today?
You know, I think if I saw him today, it would be more with compassion than it would be because I've already gotten what I need. It's him that lacks what he needs. So I think I would go, I would be more compassionate towards him. I'm not going to open my arms to him and give him a big hug, but as a human being to a human being, I'd like for him to someday let go, you know, just grow. And from the experiences, it's a bad thing where he is, but he makes his own destiny no matter where you're at. If you just say, hey, admit you screwed up. Maybe next parole board will say, hey, look, he spent 31 years or 35 years. Give him a chance. You know, I pray for him, actually, you know. I mean, I pray for him and his family. You know, everybody has a little bit of good in them somewhere. Maybe Vincent's just needs to be watered. And maybe me and Sharon can water it. You know, maybe we're the water.
Thank you. Thank you for that, sharing that with me. And I pray for them too. I guess God's gonna touch us and heal us in the way that we need to be healed. And I know it's gonna be all right.
Behind the gates of Angola, it can appear as though time stands still. The inmates may have lost their right to freedom, but it doesn't mean they don't care what happens in the free world.
This is a sad day in the history of America. Today, September the 11th.
Where apparently 2 airplanes just crashed into the 2 twin towers.
As you all know, we got a war going on in Iraq and our soldiers are getting hit every day.
We had a special ceremony for the POWs and the MIAs, people that are still unaccounted for.
We've been off the air a couple of days because of Hurricane Katrina. From what we understand, the entire New Orleans area is underwater.
Stories and storytellers abound here, each one left to imagine a more hopeful ending.
Today is a very special day, and there's services in the new main prison chapel honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Give me toolbox, APC up under you. We're going to the main prison chapel to film a few bands. Lots of talent. The guys are really talented.
Today is Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, and look what he did to bring us together. And so I'm just honored today that we can celebrate his birthday in this prison, and we can celebrate Inauguration Day tomorrow, but not working in the prison. Thank y'all for being here today. But I just wanted to talk to y'all a little bit today. about what this day means to me and tomorrow. Tomorrow is a bigger one, but today is a big one. Today maybe is what made tomorrow happen. Who knows, you know? That's what's important. It's a great way he did to bring our country together because we were absolutely unconstitutional. If you read the Constitution, it says all men created equal. And that's why tomorrow I didn't want us to work because we need to honor our new president. This is a great day for America. Martin Luther King Jr., a wonderful American. Now we have our first black president, but he doesn't look black to me, he looks like an American. Wow. Thank y'all.
And the visiting room will be open for the prisoners to come up who want to take part in the Inauguration Day celebration.
I finally feel like we're included. When I see the flag now, I'm like, this is our country. I'm a part of something real. I'm a part of something big.
We are so grateful to live in this land where the son of an African immigrant can rise to the highest level of our leadership.
I feel good as an American. I feel good to know that my kids and other kids that are growing up that are African American can say, man, you know what? I can believe this to happen for me.
It's wonderful, you know, but we have to see what he could do. We have to give him a chance.
It is my distinct honor to present the Chief Justice.
I like the spirit that this is engendering in the people. Look at the young people that's involved, and that gives me a lot of hope.
Are you prepared to take the oath, Senator?
I am.
I never thought in a million years that I would ever see this happening.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
I'm here to witness history. It took me 77 years to see a black man elected as the President of the United States. Man, it just bust me up.
I will, to the best of my abilities, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God?
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Through the TV station, you know, we can, first of all, show what's going on in here, how these guys are transformed, and hopefully someone will take a look and give them a second chance.
Wasn't no people person when I first came. You know, I was selfish, stubborn. When I first arrived, I was like the dead grass. I wasn't growing at all. But now I've grown a lot, you know, and I feel I'm a better person. You know, and I hope others look at me as some type of role model. I'm gonna make a difference. I'm gonna make a difference. That's a promise to myself.
I believe within my heart that this is going to do a lot for the prison system, for the inmates, and we're able to show the world that men who have made serious and meaningful changes in their life in prison can get out and survive. Not just survive, but do well, work within the community, help to change lives, help to transform lives. And
the time has come to reaffirm our enduring spirit, to choose our better history, to carry forward that precious gift, that noble idea passed on from generation to generation, that all are equal, all are free.
I don't think I've ever been inspired this much in my life. And I had tears coming from my eyes. You know, being in prison, you don't want people to see you cry, so I was kind of curled up in my seat trying to peek to the side, but when I peeked to both sides, both of my brothers on the side of me were crying too, so I was like, all right, cool.
People ask me to admit guilt, and I know If I did, my life might be easier, but I am not admitting to what I did not do. I may die here in Angola, and I asked you once, if I should die here, I'd like my body to be turned into ashes and just spread it in the universe. That's what I want to happen. If I die here, so will you make that happen?
You know what I'm saying?
I see myself walking in New York City in a dream 30 years before I come here. Then I see myself going into different places, all them tall buildings. I had to stop it. And bless God, today, I didn't say tomorrow, I said today, that vision is unfolding itself.
Do you feel what I'm saying? If you reckon Jesus Christ, raise your right hand. Come on.
And right now, the time is for Goldie to get out of here. So we're gonna slow this groove down. Peace and good night.
Angola, Louisiana. Once a slave plantation. Today, it is one of the oldest maximum security prisons in the United States. They call it the FAR. 5,100 men, serving sentences so long, 95% of them will never go home.
1 out of every 2 that you see in this prison is a murder. And you only have murder, rape, armed robber, habitual felons.
In 1997, the documentary The Farm followed the stories of 6 inmates serving time in Angola.
Going on my 38th year. Just something like I've been raised here.
I'm scared. I'm scared that I ain't gonna never get a chance to see my loved ones again.
The original charge that I'm in prison for is aggravated rape. I am an innocent man.
You keep in the cell for 23 hours a day, you can't come out.
You know, the person who was arrested 22 years ago was a totally different person.
2 of the inmates died in 1997, one from cancer.
But I'm ready for it. I figured a couple of weeks I'll be leaving this planet.
The other by lethal injection.
At 12:12 p.m., we sent his soul for final judgment. Last thing he said, he actually said, wow.
This is the story of the remaining 4, who during the last 10 years continued on, praying for a miracle and hoping for freedom.
Ooh, he would be so much overflowing of joy.
Angola, Louisiana State Penitentiary. That's where we're going.
George was found guilty of murdering a woman during a drug deal and was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. He admits he was caught up in a life of crime, but insists to this day that he is innocent of this charge.
I ain't no perfect child. I done did dirt as I was coming up. I have sold drugs. I have stole things. I have lied. I cheated. But I have never killed anyone. I ain't perfect. And that's what I want to get across. I ain't perfect.
After seeing the film, a prestigious law firm took on George's case pro bono. But state, federal, and Supreme Courts have denied every appeal.
Do you think you'll still be here 10 years later?
I ain't imagine, no. No, honestly, no. No, it's a rough 10 years, too.
You lose hope?
I gain hope. I I'll never lose hope. I'll never give up.
The hardest part about being an inmate here is you can't go home. You live there.
If a person gives up hope, that's the day that you begin to die. That's what helped me to survive during my 27.5 years. Always believing that one day something was going to change. You know, we just travel and teach anywhere we can go, and we're trying to do this as a means to reach and give something back to society.
Ashanti Witherspoon was one of Angola's model inmates, allowed to do work outside the prison walls to deter others from a life behind bars.
Because if you miss, if you slip, you will be Angola bound. Don't allow anything. Right now, we're right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, downtown Baton Rouge, before, what's this, Bank One. You know, I'm out here with you all filming and so forth. You know, there wouldn't be any problem for me to walk away. But the point is, I've changed. The point is, the thing that I need to do is to be free. And escaping won't give me any type of freedom. Escaping, I'm still on the run. I'm still trapped. I'm still bound by the same thing that I was bound by 25 years ago. I want real freedom. I want to be able to walk out of prison and actually say that I'm free. What was Ortega doing?
In 1997, Ashanti's petition for a parole hearing was denied. But 2 years later, he is given a second chance.
Parole board hearing is here, and I'm thankful to God that it's taking place. This is my daughter, Washington. I feel good. I feel excited. I have a lot of hope. And, you know, I'm just looking forward to making my presentation before the board.
Live here and gonna go in, they're gonna eat supper, they're gonna go to bed, they're gonna get up, do it again tomorrow.
In prison, it is the head warden who is responsible for every critical decision.
Prison is in better shape every year. It's a beautiful place, it's a beautiful prison, you know, when you look out across, who would ever think you'd say a beautiful prison?
For over a decade at Angola, that role has belonged to Warden Burl Kane.
It's like a big plantation in days gone by. We hate to call it that in a way, but it kind of is because we have the, you know, it's inmates and prisoners. It costs about $10,000 a day to feed the people at Angola. Every day, the sun comes up, put $10,000 in the cash register to buy the food to feed Angola. Our toilet paper bill at Angola is $51,000 a year for toilet paper. Okay, did it take 4 of y'all to hold him?
None of his responsibilities carry greater consequence than the oversight of executions.
Could you find a vein with him with that much pressure on him?
There have been 6 executions during Warden Kane's tenure.
It would be difficult, wouldn't it?
Old age and illness, the real concerns of men with life sentences, have caused the deaths of 412 others in the same period.
Okay, you take care.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and your family, too.
Okay, see you later.
All right.
How much time you have?
Well, you know, I had 75 years. I've been locked up 25 years on that. I'm eligible for parole.
You're eligible now?
Yes.
Good luck.
Okay.
You have 50 to go if you don't. You get a little gray.
He would be out of sight for me.
Good morning, Angola, and may you have a blessed day. It's DJ Dollar Ray, the Spin Doctor, and we're going to have a beautiful day right here. KLSP 91.7.
I'm going to say, to me, it don't move. Time don't move for me. Right here. The 10 years I've been in, I've completed a lot of things. My GED, got all kind of other certificates.
self-help programs, but things happen.
It's gonna be a long day.
I think we had it, Chief.
We going back to that walk. I hope y'all able to make it down there. Going toward Alpha.
George Crawford was the youngest of the inmates profiled in the fall back in 1997. Only 22 at the time. He was immediately sent to work in the fields.
It's the first time you ever worked in the field?
First time I ever worked in my life.
He had entered Angola's gates for the first time less than a week earlier